Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I've been asked to do a tutorial. I think it's Twilly who would like to see how to make those shabby chic Christmas stockings that I've been doing. Well, all I did was I made a newspaper template. By the way, Twilly, if you want a copy of this, I can send it to you in the post if you private mail me. I'll make it on greaseproof paper if you like, okay? But I just drew out a simple stocking shape, and I used two kinds of material. One for the lining, so you need two pieces for the lining and two pieces for the outer stocking. Okay, now I've already sewed these together, and I allowed 3/8 of an inch for this one and 1/2 an inch for this one. Okay, and what I've really done is trimmed it down afterwards. I've done little snips in the sort of corners, which I've done with this one. What I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to fit the two together. So once you've stitched all round, and you've turned this one the right way, iron the seam flat all the way round. Okay, right, now we're going to put this inside the other one. It might seem a bit fiddly, but it's actually quite easy to do if you push the stocking toe to toe and heel to heel. Okay, I hope you're seeing this. Okay, and really what you're trying to do now is to get the two ends level. Okay, so in other words, you have the outer and the inner lined up seam to seam. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to iron this in by 1/2 an inch, and the same with this one. Okay, and I'll come back. You can look at a cushion that I've been making for my craft fair, or several cushions, but that's one of them. You can be looking at that while I do it by iron this little bit here. Okay, so you iron the inner and you turn it towards the outer by 1/2 an inch, and then you do the same. You turn the outer towards the inner so that they make a seam like so. Okay, alright, I'll just do that now with my iron. Okay, because I've been so busy. And I hope you'll be able to follow this, Twilly. If you want that template for the stocking, I'll send it on to you. Okay, now what I'm going to do now is just iron, just so we know where we are. Okay, about 1/2 an inch all the way round. I'll just show you that when I've finished. Sometimes these things seem to be a bit fiddly, but they're not really at all. And you can actually stitch them by hand if you're not confident on the machine. Little back stitches, running stitches. Okay, so now we've ironed the inside 1/2 an inch, turned it in towards the inside of the outside of the stocking, if you see what I mean there. Okay, now I'm just going to do the outside now, and I'm going to turn it in so it makes the seam. Okay, I think ironing sometimes just helps, because then you know where you are. You can just fold things down to stitch. Won't be long. Now, so I've made several of these. It's I think it gets easier. Sometimes it's the first one that seems to be the most difficult one to do. And it's helpful to open the seam on the outside stocking when you're ironing that top in. Okay. So there you go. This is what you're left with. The outer and the inner. Okay, now I would say make sure you've got some pins with you, alright, because I always start to pin as soon as I can actually get so if you put the pins this way you can stitch around it quite happily, but what I'm actually going to do is put 2 temporary pins on each side of the seam. I forgot to iron that one flat, didn't I? Okay. And now you go seam to seam and pin it down. Okay. Now I wanted to put some lace around this, so what I'm actually going to do is insert this before I do any stitching at all. And what I did was I cut a piece of lace that was about 1.5 times longer. I stitched it together along the seam here, and I did a running stitch with this needle and thread and pulled it through, just a running stitch so that you can pull it. Now that's just about right, so what I do is I will seal this, stitch it so that it doesn't come undone. Okay. Nice and tight, because once you've done the stitching it's not too good, not too bad. Alright, put my it's actually quite a simple way of doing it. I'm sure there's other ways of doing these things, but make sure you've got the right side out. You turn it inside, okay? And you've got a little sort of seam thing going there, so undo your pin, insert your first, now we're looking for the seam here, and just by the seam and popping that inside, okay? Okay, let's get that in there, and you do the same on the other side. Pull it as nice as tight as you can, and just insert, take the pin out there, just insert that piece of lace on that side as well. It's just a guide, because once you've got one side in and the other, if you've got to tuck it in a little bit, perhaps you haven't gathered too much, then that will be helpful. And then what I do is, I hope you're seeing this, I hope I'm not out of shot. It's just keeping the seam as level as you can. Okay. And just putting a pin. Okay. I'm hoping I got this right. Here we go. You can always undo pins and reset it if it's not too level. Okay. So you put the two together, put the lace in between. Okay. hoping I get this right first time. Sometimes it can be a bit fiddly, but not to worry. Okay, I can see where I need to just pull it along a little bit. Okay. Okay, I hope you're seeing what I'm doing here. Just make it, just catch it in there so that it's and then lie it flat. Okay. Doesn't matter if the lace sticks up a little bit because it just adds to its character. I find it better to do this actually rather than doing it underneath the lace. It's better to do it outside the lace and on the crystal stocking itself. Sometimes if it's not, you don't feel it's going to sort of like rock, you just dampen your fingers and pull it down a little bit and then place it, because what actually it does is gives you a little bit more playing space, as it were. I hope I'm getting this in shot, because alright, we'll come back to that. Right, we've got the rest to do here. So just as you say, you've got the seam that you've stitched there, just a simple running stitch, and lay the two together. Alright, and then pin. Okay. Now, if you look round it, some places can look a bit sort of gathered, so do what I said before. Dampen your fingers a little bit and just bring it down. Alright? Because I've got more than enough room with the lining. I can see I need to change that. So, bring that down a little bit more to fit. Okay, see what I did? Dampen my fingers a little bit, or lick my fingers, so that it sits better. Okay, and then you go round and just check as you go along. Okay, so there again it starts to look good, because by the time you've stitched it, it will be fine. Okay, and if you want to catch and gather everything in, that's fine. Just make sure you pin it straight. In other words, it's a straight line so that your machine can actually go over those pins if they need to. Alright? I like putting lots of pins in because it's easier for me, and I just take them out as I go along. Okay, that goes in there. Sometimes the gather's not so good, so just move it along. Okay. And pop it in there. Okay. Now when you've done that, you can either hand stitch around the top, also like I'm going to be doing now. Alright, so I'll give you that another cushion to look at while I'm sorting out the machine. Excuse the noise. Sometimes these things need to be sorted out. Right, here we go. Gosh. Alright, don't run on me, girls. It's just a simple stitching to go all the way around. Keep it the legs straight. I wonder if this is actually noisy. Never mind. Making sure all the lace is caught up. Done. Hope you like that little cushion. Several I've made this week. Okay, you just take the pins out. And really all you're doing is creating a canvas with which to decorate, basically. You can see I've caught it there, I should have done, but it's just trying to get this done so that there we go. And so we have the basic stocking. Now what I would do is add something to hang the stocking with, or add another trim. I've got some lovely trims here from Fiona, Turning 644. Now you can either put a trim like that on it, or there, or, I mean, we've got lots and lots of pearls and things, so I've got lots of different kinds of pearls. You can sew pearls on, you can make bows, so the bow on the front here. You can add virtually your own decorations. Okay, I might add some more lace to that, but I might hand stitch it. And oh, got another little ribbon here. Okay, so I'll just cut that off into a okay, let's see what I can do with that. Okay, so that might go on there. Okay, there's really sort of no, you can really use your imagination. You know, I might even put a sort of ribbon around there, things to finish it off, trim it, add lace, hang things off this, put something down the front of it. So there you have it. It's just a simple idea. Shabby chic Christmas stocking. I've used pink lining here because it's you can use sort of old sheets, pillowcases, anything to line. Okay, and there you have it. So if anyone wants a template of this in the UK, who wants a template of this Christmas stocking, which I've done in newspaper, just email me, or sorry, leave me a private message on YouTube and leave me your address, and I'll probably be able to post that off for you. Twilly, I hope this was helpful for you, darling. Yeah, Anyway, I'm going to have a busy sort of 48 hours, and I've got to get on now, and I hope this was helpful. If there's any questions, don't be afraid to PM me, and like or subscribe. Blessings. I'll be back soon. Bye bye for now.